Hello. I'm going to read a few poems from my new book, Letters for John. It's a companion book, although it works on its own. It's also a companion to Dead Letters. And these are letters written to my husband who died suddenly in 2020. I'll read 2 poems from Dead Letters and 4 from Letters for John. And this first one, it's about clearing up, sorting things out. There's an awful lot of that. This is about photographs. Dead Letters 18. Dear Jay, photographs now. Boxes and boxes to clear. Some even from earlier days. That trip you took with your friends at 21. You, a straw hat, and the Parthenon. Or on the Algazea, head tilted, climbing out of the pool with a young man's face. I've never seen that expression. What was it? Ecstasy? Or the sun in your eyes? Naked and beautiful boys in deserts and bars with beer glasses, innocent bare arms flung over tanned shoulders, unblemished faces raised. Why, when I met your friends, were they simply a bunch of blokes? The American College yearbook, and you with a black beard, dark-rimmed glasses. You look fierce, but didn't frighten the muggers in Harlem, amusing them rather by doling out dollars, one for you, the eccentric Englishman, while your colleague was held down, screaming, a knife at his throat. It's not all like this, sir, they said as they left. Magnificent story. Why should it be lost? It should be memorialized. Why do I write if not to remind us both of what you were? Yes, the earth has turned over a few times since then, I know. Zapata moustache and long hair, and the Carnaby Street 3-piece suit in purplish-brown pinstripe. Beau Brummel, Bobby Dazzler, dandy, the decade's icon. When you walked into the lecture room at Ruskin, a woman stopped and gasped, "Who is that man?" Scarecrow sociologists next door picked up pinstripes as signifier, accused you of being a banker. Fools. And at the very end of it all, at the extreme end, that tactful man, come and see him looking so handsome. No, I said, I knew how handsome you were. Yours ever, C. P.S. Didn't we both look superb in those 70s clothes? And this one, I don't think it needs an introduction. Dead Letters 22. Dear Jay, you thought it weird when the ticket collector took you for a priest. Excuse me, Father, he said reverently, when you were lost in what he thought was your breviary, 18th century vignettes in a small World's Classic edition. It must have been your serious look, dark jacket, and the way you wore that pale leisure shirt inside out. But others thought it too. And in those days you didn't go to church, but you would have made a good Victorian country parson. Your sermons attracting the county, knobs and rustics alike. I see you in the pulpit flourish your arm like Doré's Puss in Boots, that same élan. Conscientious cleric, you'd visit the sick, write to the Times to say Darwin was compatible with revealed religion. Prove it. You'd walk miles through the hills, maybe write private sonnets. Not that you'd have had the chance. Both of us would have been quite humble, bottom feeders, although you'd have made a splendid butler in the manner of Jeeves. No one mistook you for one, though. As for me, actor, art teacher, I was accused once of being a professor of cultural studies. But we both looked like our workaday selves. People who loved books, talked about them for money, didn't realise how lucky we were. Yours ever, C. P.S. No good as actors, though. That importance of being earnest, where you overacted, and I forgot I was in the play. As a two from Dead Letters. And I'm moving now on to Letters for John. And the first one is, again, about clearing out. Dear Jay, good grief, the stuff we've hoarded, champagne corks from weddings long abandoned, ancient theatre tickets, histories of Milton's cottage. And that reminds me, I've come across the programme for that night-long ball near the beginning, the one where I met all your friends and drank so much champagne I slept the night through in the chaplain's chair, oblivious to what was going on. Where were you? Did you see the band's line-up? Deep Purple, Mushroom, The Move, and David Bowie twice? Ah, did you once see Shelley playing? No, we were in the bar, of course. It's only now I've realised what we missed after those decades of not knowing who we didn't see that night. A retrospective loss. And that reminds me of when I had to write an essay and wouldn't visit the ABC with friends to catch a new band called The Beatles. And when I was tiny and my father said, "Come on, let's go to the Festival of Britain," I discovered an alternate universe I much preferred and said, "I want to read my book." Often now, I have a sense of something that I've missed, some rare and luminous thing that might have made a difference. I think you felt that too. Unknowable now. So I'll celebrate the dress I wore. Apple green, high waist, silk underskirt with delicate organdy billowing over, green ribbons at the hem and fluttering sleeves. It was a primavera of a gown. Worn once. Last year I sold it to the vintage shop, saying Mayball, Cambridge, 1970. And a woman sifting dresses said, "Ah, bless." You would have laughed at that. Yours ever, C. P.S. Women say that often now. Why? And this is a catalogue of grumbles, basically. Dear Jay, I wish you were here when I think I can smell gas, always in the evening when there's no one about. Last night I paced the house sniffing like a rabbit, knowing you'd have said, "That's not gas, it's stir-fry." But it might be gas. It might well be gas one day, now that you're not here with your short, sensible nose. Shortish, anyway. And also there's the mould. Like gas, it creeps about and fingers the ceilings, smudges the window frames, as if it knew quite well I'm allergic to bleach. I wish you were here to climb ladders with spray guns, to open coffee jars, high windows, the garage door which thinks it's a guillotine, shit, and I need your ears particularly. Our burglar alarm, sensitive as a butterfly, reacts to shadows or quiver of spider's web and shrieks in the night, which, being deaf, I don't hear and slumber on. Last month I woke to see huge, worried policemen in our room and me in my mother's old nightdress, looking like Miss Havisham. I wish you were here to stop me losing my rag with a teenage boy in the lane dealing drugs to a motley crew who bang on our window, wander our garden, shout tedious obscenities. Idiots all. I resist these encroachments from a lower order of reality. Gas, mould, curious policemen, headlong boys, telling myself they are froth on the daydream of what is actually real. I tell myself this, but I still wish you were here. Yours ever, C. P.S. This is a report from the world in the evening. And this poem I wrote after we had our bathroom replaced. Letters for John, 12. Dear J, the poor man, he stood at the back gate, appalled at the pile of bathroom debris he must shift. Lavatory, bath, tiles, flooring, ziggurats of boxes, to a van hundreds of yards back, round the corner, up the street, a heart attack away. Where's your mate? I asked. He told me that since COVID proved to the bosses men could work alone, all mates were sacked. He had a look on his face I knew too well, and I thought of my old dad. And your dad too. How to describe that look? Resignation in it, and the ashes of rage. Frustration and awareness, often stoical, of injustice. It was the look of a man with little agency in a hostile world. I saw it on my father's face when he returned, smelling of cold air and smoke and darkness, from weeks on the road, years before motorways, grinding over Shap and the Grampians, always with Rolos in his pocket. Clever kids, you and me. We escaped all that, passed the exams, found professional jobs, etc., to my father's delight, your father's anger. But never asked ourselves, do we want to join the new gang? We found our own niche, our own class bubble, the two of us. Pity you left. And did we ever wear that look of helplessness? That's cruel, I said to the man at the gate. Made him tea, offered to help him shift stuff, but he declined. Yours ever, C. P.S. From this you'll realise that I've had the bathroom replaced at last. I think you'd like it. And this last one. Letters for John, 21. Dear J, you've been gone so long I need another way to think of you. Not the sick man subdued, not the lecturing scholar on the screen. I still watch that DVD. But something simple, more inclusive. Maybe you're a dream of a good man whose life I can see from beginning to end, now silent and shut like a book I've read and can't put away, returning to chapters long turned down. Yes, you could be a book, and I'm rereading the dog-eared pages, smudging, skipping sections, ignoring some, riffling the pages and leaving the end unread. Or maybe you're a city, one I've lived in for a long time, but must leave now. Lime trees in the square, their dignity and shade, ginnels with ancient names. A quiet city, place of music, art and books. Didn't your friends call you Byzantium? Sometimes you're a dead man, mouth agape, in the final ward, a wrong diagnosis over your bed. No, you are a book. It's right and fitting to see you as a book. But you haven't heard my news from Oxfam. Books I donated now bring water to a parched land, paying for water points in Africa. Your books, which nourished us, give standpipes and clean, pure water to deserts and barren places. Yours ever, C. P.S. So you're also Aquarius. Thank you for listening. That's the book. Thank you.